And if not that, you could have written letters. Guys, this is the 1990s. You could have written letters. Okay? Guys, at some point, you would rather even send a pigeon. Do something. Oh my gosh. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel where we talk about all things movies, TV shows, and Hollywood. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about The Parent Trap, the 1998 version. And we're talking about this one specifically because the first time I saw this film, I was like, oh, it's so cute. It's a nice romance. The parents look good together. Like, it's a cute sibling. Like, it's got a lot going for it. But then I started thinking about it recently, and I was like, what were the parents actually thinking? Because no. I'm like, were the parents legit crazy in this film? Respectfully. So yeah, we're gonna get straight into it. So for those of you who haven't seen The Parent Trap in a long time, basically it's two twins, like twin sisters, Annie and Hallie, who got separated as babies because their parents got divorced, and basically the dad took one twin and the mom took the other twin, and the dad lives in California and the mom lives in London. So the girls ain't never met each other. So they meet at a summer camp that they just by happenstance both happen to go to. And at first they start off as like mortal enemies because yeah, they have a lot of the same interests naturally, so they're very competitive, and then it turns into like them pranking each other. Yeah, pranks are a big theme in this movie. And then by the end of it, they're like, oh, we actually could be good friends, and not only good friends, you don't have your dad and I don't have my mom, and both our parents are divorced. So could it be that we're actually, and then they find out that yeah, they're actually siblings. It's just that neither of them has met the other one's parents, and they didn't even know they were twins. Both of them grew up thinking they were an only child. And so they spend the rest of this film basically trying to get their parents back together and trying to understand why their parents even separated in the first place. So that's pretty much the brief synopsis of the storyline. And before we even get into the parents, I just want to talk about one particular prank that they pulled on each other when they were at camp. Is when Annie and her friends prank Hallie and her friends by lifting all the beds in their bunk and putting them on top of the roof. Because when I watched this, like I rewatched it like 2 days ago, and I asked myself, what was the reason for this? Because I'm not gonna lie, the same energy that you put into taking the beds up there is the same energy they're gonna use to bring it back down. So who really got the last laugh? I'm like, y'all didn't accomplish nothing. I thought the whole point of a prank was to clown the other person. Now you both clowns. Not the whole group of you is clowns. Anyways, so now on to the dad. First thing I want to talk about is the choice of separation. Obviously, like I really have to I really need to understand what was going through the parents' minds when they chose this arrangement. Like at the end of the movie, they give us this piece of information that the reason they chose like to take one kid and the other takes the other is because they couldn't do half a year in California and half a year in London because the kids had to go to one school, and they can't be switching mid through the school year. And then that didn't work out, and then also having one parent take them for 1 year and the other parent take them for another year also didn't work out. So this was the only arrangement that worked out. And I'm just like, did it never cross nobody's mind to maybe do like the school year with one parent and then summer and winter breaks with another parent? Did it cross somebody's mind? Because we could have actually had the girls together, growing up together, and on top of that, seeing both parents. I'm just like, there's no way this was the only arrangement that could have worked. There's really no way. And on top of that, even with this arrangement, y'all said no contact whatsoever. You're never gonna know your other parent. Whatever happened to calling people? Like I know back then, like calling somebody internationally would have cost like a large amount of money, but them's were rich. Both the parents had money. Both the parents had money. So I'm just like, y'all could have really done that. And if not that, you could have written letters. Guys, this is the 1990s. You could have written letters. Okay? Guys, at some point, you would rather even send a pigeon. Do something. Oh my gosh. Like a fax machine. Like, Did they have fax machines back in the day? I've never seen a fax machine in my life, but I think they used to have those back in the day. Could you do like an overseas thing? You don't know, no. In fact, they used a fax machine in the movie. I've just remembered Annie and Hallie to communicate. So guys, there was ways around this. There was actually ways around this. So yeah, this whole arrangement, this thing being the only arrangement that worked is a whole bunch of BS, really and truly. Okay. Now my other issue with the dad is his fiance. So we learned that one complication to this whole scheme that the twins set up to get their parents back together, um, is that the dad has now a fiance. Now get this, guys. The mom and the dad had both not dated anybody since they got divorced, right? Now the dad, in the 8 weeks that Hallie was away at summer camp, guys, 8 weeks, the 2 months that the girls were away at summer camp, the dad met, dated, and decided he wanted to marry this woman named Meredith. And this is the point in the movie where I was like, I knew the dad was running on impulse and vibes. Pure impulse and vibe, because how are you just making decisions like this? Just rushing into things. Like, slow it down. Slow it down. Even because even the marriage to the girl's mom was a whirlwind romance. But at least with that one, they didn't have kids. This one, I'm like, you have a daughter you have to think about, and you just choosing, you just going boom boom bam, like you don't have a child to think about. And then the thing is, his fiance Meredith, guys, you didn't need to be Sherlock Holmes to know that this woman was gonna be an evil stepmother. You actually didn't need to be a detective. Anybody could have seen this coming. So yeah, I don't know what that was about. Like literally, Meredith was just so fake nice to Hallie when she first met her.
You know, I have never heard a man talk about his daughter the way Nikki talks about you. You two are obviously incredibly close.
So I was just like, and then she had a line where she was like, guys, as soon as I get married, obviously not to the people's faces, but she was like, guys, as soon as we get married, I'm shipping that girl off to boarding school in Timbuktu. In Timbuktu, guys. I said, dang, she's pure evil. Yeah, and I don't know how the dad didn't see that because it was so obvious. And trust me, Annie was not having it. She was not having it at all. She gave Meredith the hardest time this whole film. She was playing with her this whole movie. Like, think about when the dad is telling Hallie that he wants to bring Meredith into the family. So what does Hallie think of her? And Hallie's like, oh my guys, why does Hallie say, I've always wanted a sister? Oh my gosh. And then the dad's like, no, I want to marry her. And she's like, I thought you were going to adopt her. No, no, no. She was playing. Hallie was playing too much with Meredith, as she should. As she really should. And then when Annie is having a conversation with Meredith one-on-one, she decides to play in Meredith's face and be like, you think you're the first girl that my dad has brought home? No, you're number 29. You're number 29. Yeah. So the girls were really not having it. As they shouldn't. Because the dad was really just moving brush with this whole decision. And even when the real Hallie meets Meredith, the two of them, the terrible twins. The scene where Meredith meets the girls, both of them in the same room for the first time, she looked like she had just seen a ghost. Like, I know that was a creature straight out of her nightmares to be seeing not one of them, but two of them. Like, hey, Meredith really hated kids. I don't know what the dad was thinking. And literally every scene I saw with Meredith and the dad, I was just like, ew. And the dad was just very unserious for the way he couldn't see straight through Meredith. Like, was it not obvious? Was it not obvious? Because literally everybody else could see straight through. The girl's mom could see it. Annie could see it. Hallie could see it. Chessie could see it. The butler could see it. Like, come on now. Come on now. She was clearly after that wine money. Because as you remember, the dad owned a like very successful vineyard. But like, she's just here for the millions. Please be serious. The fact that the dad has such a lack of discernment is very concerning to me. Like, Literally, it wasn't until the end of the film when Meredith said, "It's either them or me." I talk about the girls. And he basically gave him an ultimatum and said, "I'm walking away if you don't choose me." And he said them. And I was just like, Meredith, you thought. You really thought. But like, it really took such extremes for him to realize that this woman was not right for this family. Like, I just don't understand. So let's talk about the mom, right? So the mom is the one who called off their marriage. She's the one who packed up and left and moved to London just abruptly. Like, yeah, so apparently they were young when they got married and they had hot tempers, and so they just kind of, yeah, that's the reason they give us for why they got divorced. So yeah, the mom packed up and left, and she became a successful dress designer. She was like a really famous wedding dress um designer. Guys, what is this? Guys, this is the famous dress designer. This is the same one. Because why would she ever suggest to the bride that she should wear a top hat like that? Top hat and a veil. Oh my gosh, on her wedding day. Is it just me? Am I being too nitpicky? Because I'm just trying to understand. Elizabeth James, come and ask for your crimes against fashion because this is not making sense. Why would you set her up like that? That was nah. That was a setup. That was a clean setup. Okay. And so the mom, yeah, same issues with the dad is you really went along with this whole arrangement. And it's the fact that neither of the parents are ever held accountable for this decision making. Like, we all just forget about it and they live happily ever after. And I just don't understand. Because you guys really committed to being deadbeats. Like, you're happy in your life to be a deadbeat. You really are happy.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
And my main issue with the mom, aside from that whole dress situation going on, is that she separated the girls and the dad as well because they agreed that they were never gonna see each other again. So I'm like, this guy's not even abusive. This is not even on a cheating thing. This is not even on a like nothing. Like it's a divorce. It's a simple divorce, and you guys said um I'm never gonna see my other child, and I'm never gonna let like my girls get to know each other just because you don't want to see your ex again. Guys, come on. Guys, this is very selfish. Like, I'll be so real, this is so incredibly selfish. Yeah. And it's the fact that the girls had been asking their respective parents. It's funny that I even have to say that, but their respective parents about the other parent before. Like, they have been like, can you tell me about my mom? Can you tell me about my dad? And they always dodge the question. They always find a way around the question, always just going around it. And I'm just like, it's the fact that you guys were just out here sitting on this bad boy piece of information for 11 years. That's crazy. That's really, really crazy. Like I said, like, I just can't find any reasoning as to why it had to be like this. Like, there were so many options. Y'all could have really kept in contact. It was really not by force cut off the other side of the family. Like, literally, like, it was really not by force. Like, I get it, you live in two different continents. Okay, still, like I said, there was so many things we could have done before we jumped to this conclusion. Like, so many. But yeah, guys, those are just my thoughts on the Parent Trap. I really just needed to get my thoughts out there because I need to know if I'm the only one that's thinking this. Like, for real. Like, is it just in my head? But yeah, it just didn't make much sense to me. And like, it's a cute, fun movie, but like when you put all these things together, it's just like it really did not make any sense. Like, it was actually never that serious. It was really and truly never that serious. But anyways, those are just my thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.